what was your life like then? What was your constraints? And then what ultimately pushed you in this direction of thinking differently and working differently?
Sure. In 2014 is when I started in commercial real estate. So I started working at big publicly traded companies. I first worked at Marcus in Millichap. I then took a break a few months at a smaller firm that thought that they wanted to grow into a national platform, and there was a disagreement between the partners. And so I moved on from there to Colliers. At both Marcus and Colliers, I was helping the senior level executives of the firm. So working with the CEO at Marcus, at one time it was John Karen and then Hassam Naji, and other various leaders, growing by recruiting brokers, teams of brokers, identifying acquisition targets, building campus recruiting programs, helping them to execute on, kind of the scale of their various different brokerage businesses, their capital businesses, et cetera. Wow. I did that. Yeah, it was really fun. It wasn't really fun. And I think a big part of it was I wound up working for a very abusive individual. And I worked for him at both companies, and I had a very hard time escaping that person. And that person was abusive to me in every single way a person can be abused. And it was a scary situation, and it escalated and escalated. I called the police. The police wouldn't help me. I knew at that point, if I let HR know that HR wouldn't help me, they would do what they could to protect the company from legal liability. And so when I had to break down and eventually call HR because it was getting scary, they fired him on a Friday. They fired me the following Monday. And so after about 2 weeks on my bedroom floor in the fetal position, I said, I don't want to leave this business. And that was part of his threat against me, was if you expose me, you will lose your reputation, you will lose your career, no one will ever work with you again. And so I said, you know what? I'm not going to let this person take anything else away from me that they've already taken. I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do. I love the industry that I'm in. I love the work that I do. I just want to do it with different people. And that led to me starting CRE recruiting. Literally, 2-3 weeks after I was fired unceremoniously, I was then, filing for my S corporation and getting all of my documents together. And so that happened so I got fired on July 22nd, just to give you the timeline, because it's really quick. And then August 13th of that same year is when I got my incorporation documents. And then September 1st, I launched my website. So it was very fast. And then that weekend after the first, I went to my very first conference and I got my very first clients. And thankfully,
really? That's so good.
Thankfully,
Bravo.
Yes. This is an industry and a business that I had been in for many years. And so for me, my on-ramp was faster because I didn't have the learning curve of the people, the companies, the language, how everything worked.